What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Immortal Minds. Today we have two special guests from Team Liquid again, but this time we've got ScreaM and we've got L1NK. What is up, guys? Thanks for joining us today.
Hey man, how are you?
I'm good. I'm hungry. Actually, we were just talking about food, and I'm actually really curious now. I'm starting to think a lot about food. So I want to ask you guys, what is your ideal thing to eat before you actually play, some serious matches?
It can be something to drink because I love drinking Moroccan tea. That's my little ritual. Since I'm Moroccan, I don't know, not because only I'm a Moroccan, but I love this tea, so I drink it sometimes. It relaxes me, and
Yeah, I'm kind of like really basic. I just like have a ham sandwich or something.
Really man.
Yeah.
I feel like you can always find a ham sandwich. Well,
Yeah.
maybe you can't actually. I don't know. Anyway, enough about ham sandwiches for now. We're doing something a little bit new here today on the show. We're doing some giveaways. So we're going to be doing 4 giveaways. Team Liquid has been kind enough to provide us with some of their top tier prestige merch. So some sexy stuff for you guys to win. And each giveaway will have some different requirements. But the first one just requires that you're active in the chat. So no spamming though, please. But yeah, just be active in the chat, and you'll be in for a chance to win some of these items. But speaking of interesting things that are sexy, we've got a sexy new map, and we've got a new agent coming into the game. And I think first of all, we should probably start with the map. I think a lot of people have been waiting for a new map for a long time. I know you guys have had already some experience kind of looking at it. I think we have a video to play with it as well. So let's get into it. Here it is. It's obviously very thematically consistent with the season. It's very icy. It's called Icebox. I haven't really looked at this map just yet. So what was the first thoughts for you guys?
Well, I think I can talk because I got the chance to play in the preview. I got the chance by a Riot, to try it out. So it's a really it's a really different map than what we see usually. Like there's a lot of things that they don't usually do. There's a lot of angles. Like I don't know. At first, the map looks crazy, but when you play it a couple of times, you understand it, and it feels pretty good. I think the game needed a new map for sure. Like only 4 maps was not enough, and everybody knows it. So
Yes, it's every map seems to have its own gimmick in this game. We have Bind with the teleporters. We've got all the verticality and the ropes on Split. We've got the doors on Ascent. What is sort of the gimmick on this map that you noticed? What feels different?
There's some ice, there's some snow. It's a bit colder, but I don't know, man. Like there's a lot of hate. Like the sides is what is the most surprising on this map. Like they're very different than what we usually see. There's a lot of hates. Like the B side, for example, is so weird. Like it's so small, and you can plant like on below and on top. So we never really saw these kind of things. On A, the same. Like you feel like there's like so much things to look at. It's because we don't know the map yet, but of course there's a logic somewhere that we're gonna get used to it, and we probably gonna love it because I played a couple of games on it, and after every game you feel like yeah, you're getting way better, and you understand way better the map for sure.
Do you feel like also go ahead, Mike?
I was just gonna say, like, the verticality from it already seems immense, especially for like Jet or Raze players coming in.
Yeah,
Isn't
for
there
sure.
like
I can confirm Jet for sure.
Isn't there like a rope going straight through like A site or something?
Yeah, they take the ropes back from Split. There's one rope. Like you can cross from A side to like some kind of like house or in the middle of A. It's kind of weird, but like yeah, there is some cool stuff to do. Definitely.
That's awesome. Does this map in any ways feel familiar to any Counter-Strike maps, or does it just feel like a unique kind of experience?
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Nuke personally. A little bit of Nuke, but I feel like yeah, maybe there is some inspiration, but some a little tiny, just a tiny one. But other than that, I think it's very unique for FPS game. Like we don't see this map on CS, for example, and I haven't expected it on Valorant either, so it's pretty good.
I know that a lot of people, when they first played Split or first played, some of the Valorant maps in general that we have right now, people's impressions weren't. People, I've always felt like people weren't blown away by, oh, this map is so cool, this feels really good. Do you feel like this had a better first experience of feeling like a fun map to play, or did it feel like you're a little bit unsure about certain things?
It's a very like experience, this map. Like when you play it, it's very different from other maps. Like you really don't know where to watch. On other maps you know how to watch, where to watch. There's like simple angles, but on this map, like the angles are weird, and like there's a lot of hates as well. You can
Yeah.
like they can be in a lot of positions, and that's what makes it hard. Like really, that's why Reyna is so strong with it. Like I played Reyna, and it's really strong on this map. Like seriously.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, Link, did you
Yeah.
have any first impressions as well, given on like what you can see in terms of what this map might deliver for gameplay? Any like initial ideas?
I personally just think like the bomb sites just look like kind of crazy with like the heights that you can be on. The verticality is kind of like, especially A site. I saw a video of A site and it just kind of looks like maybe like AWPers, like especially on like a Jet or like maybe even Omen, where you can like get up high up like Rays. They look like they're just gonna basically have like a field day.
That's a really interesting point.
Mm.
That's actually such a cool thing too, given the fact that like this, there are definitely some limitations in Counter Strike because you don't have everyone has the same abilities and they're just it's just utility, right? You can't teleport and so on. So it is actually interesting what Riot can do with the maps to complement the abilities. I hadn't actually even begun to think about some of those things. So that's pretty exciting. What are your first impressions, Mike, on this map so far from what you've seen?
Verticality was like the first thing I noticed, and then like you guys were saying, there's like extremely tight angles, and just feels like in a lot of these areas you're clearing up, down, left, and right. It's not very like, okay, once I peek this angle, there's like 2 or 3 things I have to look at. So it'll be interesting when you add like an actual team comp with people that can get on any level, like you said, like Omen or Jet. I was gonna ask you, ScreaM, because I was looking at the mini map and I'm still kind of undecided about like the mid area, how important that is, if it was like easier to split, or if like defenders or attackers really put emphasis on mid control.
So when I played, I found it very easy on attack to just like take, there is the mid, and then there's like this aim where you can only see his head, like this area where you can only see his head. You smoke in front of it, and you can go in this little tiny gap, or you can go in the tunnel as well. Go to B, to go to B, and that's
Right.
what it's very easy. I felt like maybe because they didn't know the map as well, like I did, but it was interesting to split B from middle. Yeah. Other than that, splitting A from middle is pretty harder. Like it's way harder, I found. Yeah.
Man, I can't wait to see some gameplay on this map. I guess unless you guys have any additional thoughts on it, I suppose we can move on to talking about the new agent, Skye. So this agent is, well, I mean, people were expecting that there would be another healer in the game, and
Mm.
this agent has an AOE heal, like an area of effect heal. That's kind of insane. Do we think that this is like again, ScreaM, you got to actually get some experience with this. Like, what were your initial thoughts? I feel like we should start with you as you have the most experience.
Yeah. Well, the first games I played with Skye was discovering, and I thought the heal was amazing, but it's actually like the less good spell, I would say. I don't know if you can say that, but like it's not the spell you're gonna rely on so much. It's not gonna happen a lot of times where you heal your teammates a lot. It's the same thing with the tiger. I feel like the tiger is good, but it's basically like just a drone. You can take information, uh, and like it's not broken or anything. It's just like another drone they put in the game basically, and without vision. It doesn't have much vision. When you have the tiger, you don't. It's like you're paranoid. It's like you got blind, so you don't
Right.
Nearsighted,
see.
yeah.
You don't see so far away, so it's not broken. You can
Oh,
only
so you're
check
like
corners.
nearsighted.
You can only check close corners. So okay, it's pretty good. And the rest is pretty amazing from Skye. I feel like it has so much potential. The the bird the pigeon or whatever. The pigeon, the pigeon man. It's so like it does like you need some skills. Like you can be really good with it. You know, you can do so much stuff. It has a lot of potential, and the ult is broken. It's just like a seeker, and it's just a bit broken for now. But I think they will fix it at some point, in my opinion, because I saw it a little bit too dangerous, you know, to make it like at a high level agent.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems
Yeah,
stuff always seems broken at the beginning, and I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that sometimes too, the developer will make it like
It's
stronger.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah, just so that people will be using it and getting a feel for it, and it'll nerf it a little bit. So I'm curious about how this is going to be like utilized in compositions. Like, how do you
It's
guys think
basically
about? Yeah, go ahead.
it's a breach. It's like, you know, it's another version of breach. Yeah, it's another version of breach. You can like take information. You can like clear angles as well. Like it's just an initiator, which is really good on attack. I feel like when I played with it on attack side, it's so good. On defense, it's a bit harder, but I guess that's normal. And yeah, it's like, you know, you need some team play as well. You need to do some tactics as well. Like it's just not like you're gonna play like this. But definitely a good attack agent for me.
That clip on bind the ult is just insane. Yes,
Yeah.
so in if we think about the current meta, with the compositions that are being used right now, where do you feel like Skye would most easily slot in if you had to replace one agent, or would it be? I mean, obviously Breach is really good right now, so I don't know if you would want to replace Breach on a lineup, but how do you feel like Skye would fit into compositions like right now?
You could probably maybe put it in for like a Killjoy, or like if you Cypher a Killjoy maybe, or maybe instead like a Sova, because you sort of get like the same sort of thing. 'Cause you just kind of get the drone with like the Tiger. You get some like extra flashes, but trying to think of it, it seems kind
Yeah,
of hard. Like who
it's a
you'd
bit
like
hard
specifically
because
replace.
yeah, it's a bit hard because it's an agent that has a little bit of everything, but a little bit more less that like better. That's good,
Mhm.
you know. Like the flashes are the flashes is the best thing from Skye, but the rest, I feel like, you know, Breach is a better character to help the team, you know, with the flashes, with the ult, with everything. Even though Skye is very good, I don't know. I don't know if it can be really a replacement for anyone. I think it depends on the teams and how they play, I guess. But Sova, if you replace Sova, like Sova is the best. It's one of the best agents, so it's really hard like to make a choice. But that's what makes this game so interesting. You have to make a choice at the end, like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's what I was trying to understand is everything in the game is about opportunity cost. Okay, what am I giving up to get this thing? And so yeah, just it's just so interesting thinking about that. I actually haven't. I don't think we've talked about it off camera at all, Mike. So I have no idea what you think actually about Skye right now. Like, where are you at with this agent?
I think the one thing I learned yesterday about her flash, which was kind of interesting, is I think it notifies you when you actually blind someone. So I'm not sure if they're going
Yeah.
to keep that though, because I feel like
Oh,
that's a little bit
Yeah,
overpowered
there is
information.
Yeah.
there is some details on this agent that we don't know yet, and I think it's really amazing. Yeah, really. Like the fact that you can hear when they're blind or you cannot hear, you know. Like
Yeah.
if she doesn't say blinded, it means there is no one in this area, so it's a great information. The flash, you can't really dodge it. If you want to pop flash, you just pop flash. You can't dodge that flash. It's impossible. Even though you turn back, you're gonna get like a lot like it's not just a little bit blind, but you know, a good flash. What else? You can control it and you can see it on the radar. You can follow it. Like you throw it, it kind of bounces like on the walls, so you can follow it basically. And like there's no one who's not gonna shoot that, you know. Like it's basically it's man, it's gonna be interesting to see when people are gonna have hours with this character. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because, like, at first I wasn't sure if there was kind of a height limit on the flash, but you can actually do so much stuff. Like, if you're on Ascent B main, you can like curve it up through the windows and like into B site, which any other flash that's super hard to do. So
Yeah, it's very unique, man. To be honest.
Yeah, I can't wait to see like how, because we know Riot is going to add loads and loads more agents. So again, I think we talked about this on the last show with Steel. It's just like it's kind of, you got to respect how creative they are to make every agent feel very different to every other agent. So we'll see how long they can keep that and make it successful and not break the game.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. Like, and to make it balance as well, you know, that's even more crazy. To make everything so balanced, it's so hard to think about it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Right. So some other things in the patch, I guess, that weren't as noteworthy, but are interesting. We've been having some issues, obviously, in the matchmaking experience. I know most people aren't super happy with how it has been, and so they responded with this patch. They created they changed, sorry, the system with the the ranked queue. So it's lowered from 6 tiers to 3 tiers, so that you're not going to be playing with as wide a skill range. It's going to be a tighter skill range. You can also select your preferred server, so you should be able to get more consistently like better pings for yourself. And they also changed some of the ways that the ranking points are allocated for immortal ranks to begin with. So it's decided just completely by winning and losing. So there's less. You don't get, let's say, more points for being a jet and getting way more kills than your support agents on your team. So do you guys think these are some good changes? What do you think about these ones?
I think like the rank outcome is a lot better. Like everything's decided on wins and losses is a lot better for like people who like play like brimstones and stuff like that. Like, because they're not the type of people who are gonna run around and get 30 kills every game. So I think it like sort of rewards people on that sort of front. Like you don't have to worry about like it also like rewards like playing like very selfless, like trying to help people. Because then you can like actually focus on winning the game, except from being a jet and thinking about your kills and your stats. So I think that's a lot better. Selecting your preferred servers are like going to be maybe not for like me, but for a lot of people, like probably really helpful. And
Yeah.
the tiers, I'm not too sure about at the moment.
Yeah, I know, especially here in like North America, it feels like there's not enough servers right now. So I'm on the West Coast, and man, like if I try to play with Mike, one of us is playing on like 80, 90 ping, which is really sucks.
unbearable.
Yeah,
That's really bad, yeah. Yeah, it's
indeed.
good. It's good to try to fix the matchmaking. It's really good.
Are there any changes to the matchmaking that you guys would want to see that you haven't seen so far?
The queue, I guess, time. Or I
Yeah,
don't know, man. Like the queue time and
queue times are kind of crazy at higher
like,
ranks.
yeah. I still feel like we shouldn't wait so long for games. Even though I don't play ranked so much because we practice with Liquid, you know. But like, when I wanna stream and play ranked, it takes so much like energy. I feel like because you're waiting so much, like you don't play, you don't do anything. People wait like for 15, 20 minutes for a game. I don't know. I don't really like it. So I wish that's fixed, you know.
Yeah,
I think as well, like since they've changed this gap from like a 6 rank gap to 3 ranks for queues, because like a patch before they lowered the queue time supposedly, but now I almost feel like this change will make them go up again. But
Yeah, for sure, man.
Well, with that said, well, Riot is actually looking to make some changes to Jet. I know you're mentioning like the one trick Jet's just playing for stats. She's being addressed, but we don't exactly know what Riot's going to do to Jet. But obviously, the last patch we had, we didn't really get the Jet changes we were looking for necessarily. We got some nerf to her ultimate and so on, and the right click and everything, but ultimately Jet's pretty much the same character still, more or less. So if you guys were to change Jet, or well, do you even think Jet needs to be changed? And but how would you do it if you wanted to do that?
I think like maybe it's really hard actually to like think about because like anything you kind of change is just gonna completely change like the character completely. Because I'm thinking about like changing a dash. Like let's say you change the dash so you can only do it like once a round
Mm,
instead of like rechargeable.
it's
But
hard, yeah. I feel like the change they made last time was pretty good because I play some Jet now and I can feel like the ult it's not as strong as it was before because you can't right click and like the right click is not good anymore, to be honest, unless you're really close to the enemy. But other than that, I don't know what they could change, to be honest. Like everything seems pretty balanced like this because the ult was the biggest thing, I feel like. So I don't know, man. Yeah, I have no
Yeah.
idea
yeah,
I have no idea what they're gonna change on it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those problems that it can also be every things can look really good until people learn how to deal with them, and so it doesn't necessarily mean that that thing that's good is broken. That it might just be that people don't know what to do against it yet. And the other thing too is that we don't know what Riot's
Yeah.
plans are with all of the agents that they're going to put into the game. So they may understand some things we don't as to what the future looks like with these agents. So I'm glad that they're taking a more conservative approach so far. But speaking of some of the previous patch changes, we've also had a lot of time with I think two pretty huge changes, which I wanted to go through and get your thoughts on. Which was Breach, obviously with the 3 flashes, and he's all of his stuff is just better than it used to be. He was already very good, and now you guys have had a lot of time to play with him and put him in your compositions. You guys ran some triple duelist setups with Breach or because of Breach being so good. Like how do you feel about where Breach is at right now?
I think he's like in a really really good spot now, like almost overpowered, but maybe not. Like he was really good before the buff, and now they've sort of just like kind of just juiced him up even more.
Do you think he's kind of a must? Like you do you think you cannot not pick him? Like you have to have him?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think what Riot wanna do is to make sure people pick initiators. I don't know why, but like I feel the same with Skye. They try to do a character so good, that you have to pick it in your team. I guess it's gonna be hard between Breach and Skye, but like still they wanna make sure initiators are really strong. I feel like Breach was already good, but now he's insane. Like he's just insane, man. Like you can't really dodge the flashes unless you wait for it and like you're ready for it. But it's really hard to dodge the flashes. You can spam the flashes literally. The ult is way better than before. Like if they would put maybe a delay between flashes, I think that would be a really good balance for me. Other than that, yeah, it's definitely one of the characters you should have in the team. Yeah.
Yeah, he does feel pretty damn good. I just wanted to remind people quickly before we talk about the operator, because I really want to hear about the operator, which has got a lot of changes recently. We are still running that first giveaway. I think we're ready to be giving away to the first winner, who is yet to be chosen. But all you have to do is be active in the chat. So if you want to have a chance to win that first item, just throw something in the chat. I mean, you can tell us who you think the most handsome person in the show is. That's I think one way to do it. I think I know who's going to win though. Anyway, operator changes. This is again something that a lot of people really, really, really wanted to see, and we finally got a lot of operator changes. But I feel like it was too much. Where do you guys feel like the operator is now that you've had some playtime with it?
I don't think it's that bad at the moment. I really don't think it's that bad. Like it kind of made me realize how like easy it was beforehand. But at the moment, like I think it's sort of been put into like a decent spot. It's just you've basically just got rid of jump peeking. That's like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Maybe even like the whole like quick scoping as well. Like I guess that's like the only other thing other than like jump peeking, which is like sort of been like my biggest thing is like the delay between like scoping and after shooting, stuff like that. That's like been you could definitely feel that. But I'm glad they got rid of the jump peeking.
Yeah, the jump peaking definitely seems
The jump peaking was a problem, like not only with op, like people
With
jumping
everything.
around and be able to be accurate instantly is like broken, you know. Jump
Yeah.
peaking with op is like it's impossible to dodge, you know.
Yeah.
Now I feel like it's very balanced. Now they added some price on it as well, and that's surprised me a little bit, but it's good, you know. I'm not gonna say no, you know. Yeah, but other than that, I don't know. Yeah, maybe a sound
pro-
scope, but yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that was what I was going to bring up as well. Maybe they need to add like a scope for the sound.
Yeah, because there's so much angles you can take.
yeah. It
But they,
definitely seems
yeah, you know, they don't want to break it either, you know. Sorry.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's such a hard balance. I think to I'm always worried that they will overreact because, for example, the breach change that happened. I've been asking a lot of people this as professionals that play this game. You know, as a career, do you ever get worried about, let's say, Riot just making changes before you yourselves can maybe adjust? Because if you look at games, usually the way that it works is that something will like come up as a very strong strategy or tactic, and the meta will shift to that thing, and then the pro players get to create the solutions, and then it kind of just is organic in that way. But here we had, for example, with the breach change, it felt like, as you said, as you guys have been mentioning with the initiators, Riot seem to really want to make sure that people are kind of going to these agents even before the pro scene has necessarily adapted itself. So does that sort of approach from Riot worry you, or do you not care at all? It's just part of the game.
No, it is in some aspects kind of worrying, but it's also one of the things that you just got to sort of get on with, really, I think.
All right. Yeah, I think one
Yeah, I
thing
think so too.
the one thing about it too is that, like, I think one thing that I thought was a really cool tweet that I saw that reminds me of this topic is what we saw from Sick recently. And he was basically describing in his tweet that this is a different game. Like, I respect all the people that can play CS for years and years and years, and it's doesn't really change though. And that can get kind of boring for some people. And one of the great things about Valorant is that the game constantly changes, and that's just a very exciting game to be playing. Do you feel like that's the reason why we're seeing people switch over, or is it more because of COVID, or like because we're starting to see more and more players jumping from CS and coaches and so on. So, like, how do you feel about like the CS versus Valorant and the appeal that Valorant has against Counter Strike?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think people are definitely getting uh hyped because this is a new game and there's a lot of things that are differently. Also the fact that you have new agents all the time, new maps, and like you have like a million tactic possible on this game, you know. On Counter Strike, it was kind of the same thing all the time. I mean, the game has been there for over 20 years, you know, so people they have done everything on CS they could do, you know, in 20 years. Even though of course you're still improving by time, you know. The teams today are better than the teams like 20 years ago, you know. But the tactical part of the game is the same, you know. It's been the same for a while, and definitely Valorant is bringing something very unique. I feel like very unique, and yeah, man. As a CS player, I can tell you it's very nice to play like a FPS like this, and you get like you have to learn so much things, and you can do so much things. You have to be so creative. So I can't wait to see what the level is gonna be in like 1 or 2 years. You know, it's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, I think that it is something that hopefully will work out for everybody. It seems like it's such a different approach. I don't think we've ever had a developer so invested in being on top of the game as much. Like, Valve, for example, notoriously kind of hands off, and it has its pros, but definitely its cons as well. I always wondered how it felt for players, generally, just playing CS and feeling like you're somewhat at the mercy of where Valve kind of decide the game should go. And I think for tournament organizers too, it was always kind of a difficult balance as to understanding how they should direct their business, because you always have to go through Valve, and Valve is kind of unclear, what their agenda is in terms of their esports and so on. There's no transparency with it. No one really quite knows in the public, I feel like. So, right. Before I go on to the next topic, of course, I mentioned the giveaway we were talking about initially. Mike, do we have a
Ooh,
graphic for that so we can show people?
Yep.
giveaway.
Yeah.
What's the first giveaway? I wanna see.
It's the shirt on the left. We're going left to right on all of them.
Ooh, yeah, this one. Holy.
Yeah, that's a beautiful rugby shirt. It's pretty sick, actually. I gotta say, the liquid merch is on point.
Yeah, the liquid match is sick. Like, I've not seen they seem to just release something like all the time. Like,
Did
just
you?
constantly.
Are you guys getting like a steady influx of the new stuff, or do you like? How does it work?
I just got like a massive package full of stuff that we can all just pick
Yeah,
from.
we got a lot of stuff. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
All right, just
Pretty
just
cool and looks amazing to me. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
yeah.
just to re-clarify, the first giveaway item is that rugby shirt on the far left. All right, the Beast. Congratulations for winning that rugby shirt. You will be now able to add a sexy item to your wardrobe. Congratulations. All right. Okay. So
Congratulations, man.
going back to the discussion around players and talent in general coming across from CS to Valorant. I recently saw you guys might, I'm not sure if you guys know the Apex Legends scene, but Abralele is like one of the best players from that scene. Recently left that game, came to Valorant. We had Som joining NRG, obviously making the switch from CS to Valorant. Daps has moved across. Chet as well. So we're starting to see more and more names coming from CS, and it's really interesting because one thing about this game is that it's obviously it's similar but very different. What do you, in your experience, Link and ScreaM, like what has been the challenges in adapting to Valorant coming from a CS mindset?
A lot of
been
things, man.
Yeah, I was about to say there's been
No,
a
but
few.
like the spells, like the abilities on this game are like this is a whole new thing for us. Like
Yeah,
of course there's some smokes, some nades, like rays, but like overall it's so different and it's so hard like in the beginning, and it's still hard I think to have like the instinct, like for everything, always act perfect way. So yeah, today we are good, but we are gonna be way better in a couple of months because we're gonna keep practicing. And this game is a lot about mechanics, about a lot about instinct, and yeah, you have to know everything, every agent perfectly. So it's a lot of it's kind of like League of Legends. You can't really take like a break or something a long time from this game. You need to be on the meta, very on the
yeah,
meta. On CS, I feel like you can go back like for 1 year. You don't play CS 1 year, you come back, you're still kinda in the meta. You're not like that far away. On this game, I feel like it's gonna be different. The meta is gonna change up a lot of times, all the time, and you have to keep it up all the time.
Yeah, it definitely seems like you have to be willing to study the game more than in CS, because CS is so much about the fundamentals, and it seems
Yeah.
like you can get away with spending more time on your mechanics than theory necessarily. I don't have direct experience with doing that as I never played CS professionally, but that's the sense that I get. And I think one thing that you guys do really really well with Liquid, and I know that Sliggy really helps a lot with this, is really focusing on innovation and trying to keep everything fresh. And that seems quite challenging, that whole balance to strike. And it also seems like again something that's a little bit newer of a demand than CS. In CS, I feel like there isn't really much of a demand for you to have to come up with stuff all the time. Sure, you need to know effective ways to do things, but if you watch, an Astralis demo or two, you'll see a lot of like the great ideas. Like it's very easy to copy stuff, but I feel like in this game you want to keep stuff hidden and you want to come up with a lot of stuff yourself. So I'm curious how that process has been for you guys. Is it something that's difficult or exciting to do? Like,
it is fun. Like, because you always like you come to practice and there's just new stuff all the time. So he's like, "Yo, I got something banging like you've never seen before." It's like you don't get that in CS. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you don't get that because because CS has been there for so long, you know. Like
yeah,
this is a new game. People haven't gone through everything yet.
I'm sure it's like comforting as well on the dev side that we were talking about earlier, where in CS if something new got dropped, like I remember the R8, and that just blindsided everyone at the start. Whereas at least in this game, you guys are getting invited to betas and testing stuff out, and you get to talk to devs, and at least there's kind of like a comforting sense that things will like change based on your guys' experience and opinions.
yeah, 100%. That is like a pretty like unreal feeling, honestly. That like you get to have like meetings with like the people actually making your game. You get to actually get your opinions across, and they actually listen.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, true, true. It's good to have a proximity, you know, like, and that you feel like they're listening to you, like they're taking you in consideration. Even though I don't think Valve hasn't done that, but they have. I think they like the game has been working as it is for 20 years. So why would they change anything? Why would they add anything? Like it's a
Right.
hardcore game, you know. It's for people who you know who is around for so long, like, and at the same time it's for new people as well. It's just as simple as it is, you know. You don't want to add like some crazy stuff, you know, and things like this. And Valorant is definitely a game that's like, you know, the like they're thinking about the marketing and everything, like the business like behind it. You can see it, you know, with the skins. Like they're doing some insane skins. They're taking the time to do it. Like it's beautiful, you know. It's another game, it's another devs, and it feels good anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's such an interesting experience, and I think that's part of the attraction for people coming from CS, who have, I think, like what you're saying about the developer actually feeling like you have the input. And although, as you say, like Valve does talk to some pros and so on, I think it feels like it's less impactful. I think that's part of it. I think, as you say, generally speaking, that game has been around for so long, so having the impact on a game that's so new, it's got to feel really good. I know there was actually a post on, I think, the Valorant competitive subreddit recently about some experiences from a recent kind of a dev and pro player interaction, and that was actually really interesting to read. I think it's still up there for anyone who is curious about that. But before we move the discussion forwards, again, Liquid gave us so much awesome stuff to give away. So apologies from interrupting the flow of the show to give stuff away, but actually not sorry at all. We've got a really sick City crew neck sweatshirt for a giveaway next. And all you need to do is be in the chat and just be active in the chat. And you know what? To kick that off, I'm going to ask everyone a question here, and you guys in the chat can take part as well. Vandal or Phantom? Like, where are you guys at?
The question,
Bro, I
the
suppose like
ultimate question,
50-50.
man. Like, to be honest, I'm every round I'm changing.
Yeah,
No, but
that's what I was
it's
gonna say.
I know in my heart, you know, I know that I need to play with the Vandal. I know it's everybody knows it, but you know, Phantom is cute. You know, I don't know. Like when you kill someone with the Phantom, it's cute. You know, it's not that
Yeah.
savage. You know, it's not that savage. It feels good, bro. No, I don't know. It's just Vandal is better for sure. Vandal is better. Like there's no discussion about this, but like people play with what they like to play as well, I guess.
I also think that's like a massive comfort thing because it's
Yeah,
not like
it's
CS where
comfort.
like
Yeah.
you can just not use like you have to use the AK whenever you pick it up. Like you can use the Phantom if you like you feel better on it.
Yeah, like the way you shoot these guns are not the same. Like for example, if there's people like like they like to spray, you know, like Phantom, and it depends on the map as well. Like Split, you know, Split, I would go with the Phantom. Um, there's some maps I wouldn't go with the Phantom. There's some positions I wouldn't go with the Phantom. Like it's a lot of situations as well where you can change it up as well. Like sometimes you can even take like a judge. You know, it's way better than a Phantom in some situations. So
Yeah.
it's very situational and what you like. But both guns are good, and you wanna one shot them, so you take the Vandal. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you started talking about the Phantom, man, I'm like, who is this? I thought this was the one tap king. What is this Phantom? But there we go.
No, the Vandal is Swiss, man. I'm kidding. No, but it's Yeah.
Plus, can we get another look at the swag, Mike?
Yep.
Just give people a tease before we drop that.
Do you guys think with like the sprays in this game, because it goes to like RNG after 10 bullets, I want to say, or something like that, do you think the game would be better off as more like set with minimal RNG, kind of like CS sprays?
I don't even notice it
Uh,
that much personally.
I don't. I personally don't think so, because on this game you kill the enemy in general instantly. You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
take like CS like 20, 30 bullets. You can have like some crazy spray downs. I feel like on this game you have some sprays, but it doesn't take more than like 10 to 15 bullets. I feel like it depends on the people as well. But uh, when I look around, and stuff, no one really sprays so long, and you know, it's a different game. Like, and I still think you can manage the spray with the current pattern. I feel like it's not that hard. We got
Yeah.
used to it right now, because we've been playing for months. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm glad we got that discussion out. I mean, I think it's a really interesting one because the Phantom and the Vandal in general seem. I mean, obviously they've both seen a lot of changes, and I actually felt like the Vandal was good before the rate of fire change, just because of the fact that on long ranges the one shot potential just felt just a lot stronger. But yeah, preference for sure. Mike, I got to ask, you were a Phantom gang. Are you still Phantom gang?
Nah, I've been using Vandal. Every time I turn into
Nice.
Sluggy's stream, he's at least telling one person, you have to buy the Dragon Vandal and then you stock Crosshair. That's all he ever talks about.
The thing is that yeah, when I take the Phantom, it's also 80% because of the skin. You know, because
Yeah.
I bought so many skins that I want to use them, and like 80% of the time I want to play with the skin, I take the Phantom because it's beautiful. So I don't know if I got I could correct on this one, but it's
Yeah.
dangerous, guys. Dangerous. Be careful.
Nice.
Skins are dangerous, man.
All right. Well, let's pick a winner and move things forward. All right. Whilst we wait for the winner, so I wanted to like talk more about Team Liquid, because already I mentioned that you guys spent a lot of time innovating, and so straight up, I'm going to ask you the fact that you guys are trying new stuff quite often. Like, let's say the triple duelist lineup that you went with through the oh god, what was the tournament called again? Mike, remind me. It wasn't Pulse? Was it Pulse? No. Am I thinking Blast?
What are you talking about? The EU event?
Blast? Yeah,
Yeah, Blast.
Blast. There we go. My brain is something else. But in the Blast event, you guys ran the triple duelist setup, and I think that I don't know how much preparation you went into that event with that setup, but there was a lot of focus on you guys because it felt like you were really trying something new in a competitive environment in tournament. Do you think that trying out stuff like this all the time costs you victories? Like, do you feel like, if we just played standard and played the standard compositions without experimenting, we would win more? Or do you feel like that's not the case?
I think if you take like, I guess it's kind of like you look at specific cases because we had that game versus FPX where we went 13-11 on both maps, also using like a pretty outrageous comp, people would say. But like it it doesn't really like if you really look into the games and stuff, it doesn't usually actually come down to the comp that much. Like we could have quite clearly won that game with that comp, and but obviously things don't go your way sometimes. You lose some crazy rounds, which we lost
Yeah.
a pretty crazy round, but you know what I mean? Like that sort of stuff happens. But I don't think it really comes down to the comp that much. Like I think because of the way this game's played and the abilities you can play, like a lot of kind of outrageous stuff. You don't have to use
Mm.
like the default smokes. I mean, it helps. Don't get me wrong. Like having like we've sort of figured out now that like we sort of found our like balance between not having any smokes and like 7 flashes or whatever we had, and obviously now putting smokes in. Like we've obviously found a balance, but like it's not there's no harm in trying it out. I don't think anyway.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like, there's no harm in trying out things. Like, this game is made to have different compositions. Like like in the future, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some crazy stuff as well. I'm sure 100% about this because people are gonna try things out and you can make everything work out in this game because you can play in some unique way. Like it depends on your composition. You have to adapt all the time, and like it's amazing. We could have won every tournament we played with this comp, but we were not ready. That's it. Like we were not ready. We need more time with this kind of comp because you need to be way more careful about what you do. You don't have this easy thing about okay, we're just gonna smoke there, we're gonna jet dash here, and like okay, we're gonna win the round. That's what G2 does, and that's what we're trying to do right now as well a little bit. But it's an easier way to play, but it's maybe not the best way to play. You know what I mean? In the future, maybe now in the meta, that's the meta right now.
Yeah.
But we're not taking it over it. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I mean, I think when we watched it, is Mike and I did, I think, an analysis on it too, and we were thinking too, like it's not like these guys lost because of their choice of strategy and composition. It was just there were just some clutches and some more fundamental stuff that, yeah, like it's. I think a lot of people will see the composition and just blame it because they don't necessarily see the more in-depth aspects of the game. And so I think it doesn't give a clear picture, but I definitely feel like I'm totally on board. I think what you guys are doing makes a lot of sense for approaching Valorant as opposed to like when you look at Counter-Strike, where Counter-Strike is like, let's find a thing that's really effective and just perfect it. It feels like Valorant's about let's find lots of different things that are effective and try to be as good as we can at as many things as we can. And that it feels like that's what you guys are doing, at least from what I can see from the outside. So I'm really curious actually, ScreaM, because you kind of stepped away from professional CS:GO for a while, and you were in a lot of French teams, and it seemed like it wasn't. It seemed like you weren't coming back to CS, but then we saw you in Valorant, and we saw you starting to do really well in Valorant, and it looked like you kind of reinvented yourself a little bit as a player. Did you expect to come back to professional play in a new game, or like how was that experience of kind of just being back on top
Yeah.
again?
It's I never expected to leave CS, of course. That's like for me, there's no game that's better than CS. And I was not ready for Valorant. I didn't check before it comes out, like all the teasers, and things like this before it comes out, like for months and months. Like people were ready for it, and I was like, "What is this game like?" When I saw that it looked like CS in the mechanics, I really loved it. Um, the fact that you have like so many duels and like in this game is really good as well. Like you have some fun, when you play. It's a great feeling, and the ability part like really motivated me as well. And when you have a new opportunity like this, you get the motivation really back. And I think that's what I needed because on CS, the end of my career was really bad. I was just inactive, it's not even like it was bad. I was just being inactive so much, and I didn't like that. And I feel like the chances for me to have a good team, it's possible because I still have I think I still have the potential, even on CS today, to be one of the best. The thing is that, like, am I gonna take the time to do it, or do I have the motivation? Do people trust me? Like in general, because if the scene doesn't trust you anymore, if you're like wasted kinda in the eyes of everybody, it's kinda difficult to come back from this. It's a bit difficult. It takes time and motivation, and it might not work. And when you have a game like Valorant coming in your hands, you just like on the flow, on the fly, you just go and uh, if Valorant doesn't work, we will come back to CS, I guess. But like I still have the same motivation as I used to have, like when I was young. I still have the potential. I still have the talent, I think. And my mistake before was to be kind of like how do you say this, naive. Naive. Like I thought people were, I thought everyone was like me. I wanna build team. I wanna be stable with everybody. I wanna like I don't have any like bad ideas of things. I just want to do good things in my teams. And I don't know, in general, I don't even know why teams break down like this on CS. It's been like really when I think about it, it's a mess. It's been a mess. The teams in CS changing every like 3 months, one player there, one player there. It's a mess. So I hope this is gonna change in the future. That it's gonna be a little bit more like, how do you say this? Not like players are gonna pick, like are gonna choose, are gonna decide of what's happening and stuff. That the choices are gonna be real, and it's important, man. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I totally feel what you're saying. I think it's especially the French scene too. I know that I think a lot of people, again, from the outside looking in, everyone was kind of there was obviously, it looked like there was a lot of drama happening all the time, and it must have been, as a player, like very difficult to deal with. So I'm glad that you found more stability with the current team you're on. Speaking of which, Link, I want to direct a question to you because um, you were part of the UK CS scene, and the UK CS scene kind of seemed like a weird one because it seemed like there was a lot of talent there, but it felt like everyone was kind of stuck and didn't necessarily get a good way to kind of get out of that player pool. There was players here and there like Def and Smooyer and so on, but generally speaking, there wasn't too many given how much talent there is in the UK scene. So how does it feel? Kind of like, did you feel that sense of stuckness in UK CS, and how does it feel kind of coming to Valorant now?
UKCS is a trap. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it really is.
Did I hear UKCS?
Like, UKCS is a real trap. But like, the thing is with UKCS is, like you said, there was a lot of talent. Like I think it's kind of evident in this game. Like my team, like me, Cryptix, Dom, Eccles. You know what I mean? Like we, in the eyes of a lot of people, like no names in CS, but it's quite evident in this game that we've got like really good like mechanical skill and stuff like that. Like the talent is there, and it kind of portrays like if you actually watch some players, but like it's just everything else. Everything else is just like really lacking in that sense. Just foundations, support, organizations. Like they are like big things that are like lacking, I guess, and you sort of just get stuck in the. And I'm not going to go delve into like all the problems that come from UKCS, but like it is really like you have to be that one in like a billion sort of like player to like escape it, sort of. Just like how it's like once every couple of years, like we had like Def, and then Surreal at one point, and then Smooyer, and now we've got Mezzy. Like it's just sort of like every couple of players can like sort of escape this so-called like trap. You know what I mean? So coming to Valorant is like it's crazy. Like it's like the um uh like the environment of the team and stuff. Like it's just completely different to like in CS because in UKCS it's like bad to say, but like everyone's just sort of like out for themselves. Like it's true. Like if you speak to a lot of UKCS players, like it is unfortunately true. But in this, it's like you really do feel like the team environment. It's like a huge like uh relief sort of that like everyone's got trust in each other, like um and just like generally like really good things like that I didn't really get in UKCS. So switching to Valorant is like crazy in comparison. Like actually like only people that like come from UKCS can like really sort of understand it, but yeah, it's kind of crazy, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for me, like when I saw the lineup of Fish 1, 2, 3, I was like, all these like UK players. This is pretty sick, and I obviously know Sliggy super well, and so I knew that was there was gonna be some success there, and you guys had a lot of success. So super cool to see that, and the fact that you were described as you were stuck in this trap that you described, and then you came into Valorant where so much more was possible. Is it kind of almost weird to kind of suddenly be because UKCS, I don't know if you would consider it like tier 3 CS or whatever, but if we're kind of making that comparison, it's like you jumped from tier 3 to tier 1, and not just tier 1, but like effectively in Europe at least, a top 3 teams or top 2 teams straight away. So what was the adjustment like on that for you?
You don't really like well personally like feel it like in game, I guess. Like I guess like you're playing against like good like opponents and stuff like that, but like you sort of like really see it in like your professionalism and stuff. Like that sort of stuff is like um a lot different coming from like let's say you're playing like tier 3 UKCS and then you sort of jump to this. Like you don't ever think about these things when you're playing in this, and now like it's sort of like everything that you think about, like you need to really, like be like a brand, what I mean? You need to really like put yourself out there, and obviously, and the competition sort of just comes with it, I guess. Like, what I mean? Like we took a chance, and then ever since like the beta, it's just sort of like, you know, all the competitions that got like come are it it. I was gonna say it kind of feels like I'm still like playing like UKCS. It's not like the actual competition like feels like anything, unbelievable, but it's sort of like everything else that sort of comes with it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It's I mean, it's just like very heartwarming to see that you guys made out of the trap.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So on that note, it was time for giveaway number 3 before we get into some of the next questions. So we have, if you want to pull up the images, Mike, we've got the West Side Track jacket that's is
Ooh.
available for you guys to win, and all viewers are eligible. You just have to be active in the chat once more, and you can let us know what kind of agent you think will come into play next, or you can actually start preparing yourself with your Ask Us Anything questions. That will be like the segment that will follow this one. So you could even also drop that in the chat too. And the subs will be weighted just a little bit more than the regular viewers or non-subs. Right. With that said, we'll give that a few minutes and then we'll roll that giveaway. But whilst we're doing that, I wanted to ask you, ScreaM, as well. How was it to like play with a bunch of UK lads? Again, you've mostly played with French teams, right? So how was it being surrounded by Brits?
Yeah, they're they're a bit crazy, man. But it's fine, like I think they're like they are, like they like to talk a lot, and and that's fine for me. I like them. Uh, I don't think we had a problem to get along together. It's been like a good road so far. We're improving every day, so it's pretty good. Um, I can't say like the difference, like really, like in France I had a good time as well. So, and it's my main language as well, so it was a bit easier. But the British mentality is good as well. I like it.
How would
It's
you?
a bit like it's a bit more expressive, like. But I think it's like French people maybe are gonna hold things back more. They're gonna keep things for themselves more, and like maybe like act bad, in the back. I think English people are more like straightforward, so it makes things a bit easier to fix them instantly. And you also have to control yourself sometimes, but it's pretty good right now. I don't want to judge like English
Yeah.
people or French people. Not that like from my experience, it's like this.
Awesome. All right, let's roll that giveaway so you and draw a winner real quick. And one of the next things I wanted to talk about as well actually was sort of the EU scene in general. I think congrats No Quit for winning the merch, the sexy
Oh,
liquid merch. Congrats,
nice.
man.
Thanks, man.
Right. So Liquid has, I think, I feel like you guys were with Fish 123. It seemed like you guys were the best team, and then we had G2 starting to have incredible results, and then it kind of felt like it was about G2 and Liquid, and then FPX kind of came up. I don't want to say out of nowhere, but they came up. Angel, leading that team and using his experience with some very talented players to create a great team. And it looks like FPX have an amazing trajectory right now, and that FPX could become the best team in Europe, or at least really create a good argument for that. How has it been for you guys with the dynamic in playing G2 and dealing with FPX? Which team do you feel like is harder to deal with?
Harder
Go
to
ahead.
deal
Go ahead.
with. I was gonna say harder to deal with is like G2. I think by far, just because they're like, it's like you're playing a pug. Like it's just random and kind of crazy. But when you play like FPX, like you can really feel like they're playing out their default. Everything's like sort of thought through like really well. Like I think that's what sort of like makes them like really hard, is the fact that they've probably got loads of like they've like protocols. They played like rounds like very very structured and slow. So I guess there's like two really different dynamics. I think like for FPX and G2, it's just like G2 like running at you and just headshotting you off the server like good night. and FPX FPX, really taking their time playing out, like kind of like how like you'd see like Astralis like playing TS. I mean, they like really take their time, think out the rounds.
As I
Not
said,
making
man,
a ton of difference.
as I said, like G2 tactic is just playing around Jet, doing bursts on sides, and like that works very well. It's a good tactic. It's a good tactic. It's the good meta right now. They used it very well as well, and they have like some good experience as well individually. They're really good, so it makes them winning a lot of situations they shouldn't win, and like yeah, they're definitely the best team like so far. I don't think it will stay this way because of course it's the beginning of the game, and when people are gonna be prepared, it's not gonna be the same anymore. 100% sure. But they had a good run, you have to respect it. FPX is a team that, like, as Trav said, they're playing very like how do you say this? They have everything taught, like everyone has his position. They have some tactic made up already. It's I wouldn't say it's easier to play against them, but it's easier to read them maybe, because they're gonna play slow. They're gonna end up somewhere, and G2 is just like, yeah, they're just gonna burst in a moment you don't know, and you don't know where, and you have to be ready for it. And I think Valorant players know how hard it is to stop a burst when Jet dash in, and like there's so many things going on. Like
Yeah.
when you're not ready for it, it's definitely the worst thing.
Gotcha. Do you think that there should be? Do you think that that's a style of play that you can counter, or do you think that it is something that's just more of a gamble style of play? Or like, how do you like interpret this? Because it kind of feels like what
Uh,
you're saying is, at the moment they can kind of get away with it because when it even goes badly for them, they're just so skilled that they can get themselves out of a bad spot. But
no.
if you have a lot of really good teams, it feels like it's not a consistent way to play. Is that kind of what we're talking about here?
I
I'd
think
say so.
there's definitely a way to counter Jet, like a composition with Jet. You know that when they have Jet, you know that they're either gonna play operator, or either it's gonna be like some aggressive thing, like some crazy stuff, and you have to be ready for it. I think you either play like some retake, or have some specific setups for it, and you just have to be ready for it all the time. And I think there's counters of everything in this game, so we just need more time. And I think it's gonna take a lot of time on Valorant for people to have like a really high level, because there's so much things you have to work on, and so much things you can do. So
Yeah, it makes sense. And maybe there's gonna be more information agents and stuff and map changes.
yeah,
I guess we'll see how it goes.
it's gonna evolve all the time. The meta is gonna change all the time. Every 2 months, the meta is gonna change.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, man.
No, for
It's gonna be
sure.
interesting. It's gonna be interesting, bro.
Yeah, I completely agree. With that said, we will start running our last giveaway. So, Mike, if you want to pull up the items again, and we also have our Ask Us Anything coming up right now, also, so start preparing the questions. Right. So, okay. So we're actually going to be doing this at the end. So this will just be a teaser. This will just be a little teaser. We're going to be doing at the end of the Ask Us Anything. That's liquid jersey all the way, the prestige hoodie, sorry, all the way on the right. It's pretty gorgeous, actually. Right. So, guys, get your questions in the chat. If you have anything you want to ask Link or ScreaM, now's the time. Hit us up with those questions.
Oh, questions.
So far, I don't see any questions
DBK
just yet, but I
DBK
see.
is the imposter. Is it true, man?
Dude, I haven't even played the
Are you
game
the
yet, so
imposter?
I feel like I don't know how to follow that joke. So I need to get some experience in the game.
I've got a first one. Who spent more money on FIFA so far between Trav and Adam?
Me. A lot
Okay.
more.
Okay.
Unhealthy amount.
Right. Okay. So we got some questions coming in. Next, you asked, will Simple move to Valorant? I don't know if you guys can really answer that.
I feel like a lot
I
of
don't
people
think
can
so.
be
I
onto
don't
that.
think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like, I think he loves CS more than anything, and he's in a very good position in his career, so he's not gonna move. There is no way, bro.
Yeah, when you're the best player in the world on a game, like you're probably not thinking, Valorant looks alright. You're probably just thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna stick to CS.
Yeah. Well, unless
I mean,
you're
yeah,
Sinatra
it's
anyway.
the love of
Oh
the game
yeah,
as
I
well.
guess so.
Love of the game as well, you know.
Yeah.
True that. Right. Okay. Darth Faded asks, how is Valorant different in terms of practice and competing compared to CS?
Practice, I can say at least, is like a lot more like server time, like a lot more like going over like comps and ideas. I guess. Oh, I guess it's sort of the same. You sort of do the same in CS. Like you go over your strats but I feel like it's like a lot more like thinking about. I guess in practice, like especially like
Yeah.
as I say on like defense side, you need to think of like a lot more stuff. 'Cause it's not like
Yeah,
it's not
it's
like
basically
it's
that.
not like
Like it's
yeah
basically that, man. Like there's so much things more to think in Valorant than on CS. You have to, yeah, man. You have to think more. That's the biggest. That's the biggest part. Like,
yeah
yeah,
More brain, less aim.
yeah.
Okay.
I think Valorant is
bad
a
for me.
more brain, less aim game. Even though it's pretty balanced, you know. But I think on the long term, it's gonna be a more brain game.
Yeah.
Okay. Bamfleon asks, for Screamy, which map is your favorite to play in competitive and why? And also, what is your least favorite to play?
My favorite would be probably Haven or Ascent because because it's big, you know, like it's long range duels and like you can. I wouldn't say you can make difference by your own, but you have more space, you know, you have more space to do some stuff. So I like it, and I don't like Split because it's a very closed map, and you pretty much like, for example, in attack you have to have a plan, otherwise it's impossible because the map is so easy to hold on defense. You know, the angles are tight, like it's very easy. So in ranked games, at least, I prefer like open maps.
Yeah, makes sense. I feel that for sure. Right. Do you see anything, Mike, that you like to look of, questions wise?
There's one, I don't remember the name, but it was talking about, are you guys concerned about the format for First Strike? Because obviously it's open qualifiers, and I think it's 5 stages for one region. At least I saw 5 stages are best of one single elim. Obviously, you guys are going to be like a lot more skilled than a lot of these teams, but does the format concern you at all?
I think it's good. I think
Yeah, I
it's good.
think it's okay.
Like
I mean, it's
open qualifier. You know, give everybody a chance to qualify.
yeah. I mean, best of one single elim like is always daunting. Never like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like just those couple words are like, oh god. But if you're gonna have to qualify, you need to be everyone. So
They
it's just how it is.
they can't make everything best of 3 as well. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
for
in the
sure.
beginning, yeah, you need some best of 1s, and then like at some point they're gonna put on some best of 3. But I think there's like 4 events for the qualifier or something. Like I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
kind of weird how it's spaced out, but
I think there's many qualifiers, and that's the most important because if you miss one qualifier, you have a second chance, you have a third chance, and you have like a fourth. So that's important, like
Yep.
to have a real chance because you can mess up a qualifier, and you know.
especially when there's like a lot of good teams on the come up, and obviously there's more footage out there of you guys than these other teams, and you guys can't really necessarily prep for like every single team you're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
play
man.
either.
Some teams are gonna surprise for sure. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
like yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's always the best thing about the open and qualifiers. Is like just seeing like what nerds have been nerding it up the best and show some crazy stuff. Ooh, thanks for the 5 gifted subs, we ashes. Right. So I saw a question. I'm losing it. Where is it? The chat was scrolling too much. Oh god, I lost it. I lost it, guys. I'm terrible at this. Okay, this is a good question actually from Danny Phantom FM. What NA team are you guys looking forward to playing the most?
I haven't even really like watched a lot of NA teams. I think like Sentinels is like a
Yeah,
unreal sort of team at the moment.
yeah. I think all of them like Sentinels, Cloud9, TSM. I think
Yeah.
all of them is gonna be interesting to play against them. Man. First of all, we need to play against European teams. Play
Yeah,
some
true,
play
true.
some tournaments, you
Yeah,
know,
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
and then we're gonna see.
Yeah, it is actually really interesting, and
But the clash of NA Europe is gonna be interesting.
oh
Like
god,
I
yeah.
don't know when it's gonna happen. I don't know where, but it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Actually, quick side question for myself personally. Have you guys been checking out some of the stuff, like let's say in Asia as well, like seeing like what's
Yeah,
going on in those teams?
yeah. We check everything. We check
Nice.
everything. Like I mean, especially our coach who likes to watch games. Like
Yeah.
we we like to check everything because you know the meta. Like if NA is better than us today, like we need to be on the same page. You know, we need to to understand what they're doing and stuff like this. Same for
Yeah.
Asia or Europe, whatever. You have to learn every time.
And if also like follow that up very quickly with to ask you guys, of the stuff that you have checked out from other regions, has anything like anything or team like impressed you a lot that or surprised you a lot?
I wouldn't say there's anything that like specifically surprised me, but like I guess just I guess from like NA side, I'd say because that's like the most I've watched, is actually how like dedicated they was to Phoenix. Kind of blows my mind. Like it's honestly so respectable. But
So you're just saying Phoenix is shit, basically. Is that what's happening right now?
that's in my eyes, but like
Yeah,
you know they make it work, so it must be good.
It's
But
weird,
like
yeah. It's weird. Like we're the same people, you know, like humans, you know. I play Phoenix. It's not the same, man.
yeah,
Like when they play Phoenix, they make it look good, but I don't understand how because it's not the best. I don't know. It's good. It's good if you know how to play, I guess, and that's where you see how like you have different comps and like still be good. Like
yeah.
Yeah,
it's just if you master some agent, like mastering some agents is really important as well.
for sure. Yeah, totally with that. Right. Unlucky Live asks, Link, what is the difference in mindset from Diamond to Immortal to professional play?
I mean, mine's like it just goes from like matchmaking to professional. Like it's sort of like a huge jump. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like I don't know, like I guess in like matchmaking, it's all just like about playing to improve. Like I guess that's like what people like in Diamond and Mortal areas like should have that sort of mindset, playing to improve like mechanically and stuff like that. Like that's like probably a huge thing because when you obviously like it's sort of natural a lot of the time, like where you just become like professional from playing a game. Like especially in esports, like it's very natural a lot of the time for a lot of people. So you just like you know have the correct mindset about playing to improve, and then your mindset just like evolves when you turn professional. You know what I mean? You start like thinking about everything else. But like I don't know, I don't think when you play like matchmaking stuff, you particularly think about comps like what comp you're gonna play against and stuff like that. Like you don't really get that during matchmaking. You just like you know play whoever. But I guess that's sort of the things that like changes when you play professionally versus teams.
Yeah. No, I mean, that makes total sense. One question I saw as well was basically about like, do you feel like you guys in G2 and FPX, like the top of the EU scene, is better than NA? Obviously, this is total like speculation because you guys
Yeah.
haven't played them, but given what you've seen, do you feel like you guys understand the game better in how your approach is versus those teams?
I don't know. It's so hard to answer.
Good question, man. Good question.
I'd give respect where respect is due for like NA. Like they're obviously like some of the stuff that I've seen is obviously like really sick. I don't get me
It's
wrong.
hard to say. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
I think we could definitely have good matchups against them. Like they're not as good as like as better as you know as it is. They're better, I think, a little bit better, and the gap is I think is you know is closing slowly because we are improving a lot as well. So it's gonna be interesting, man.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know who's the best right now.
Yeah, that's an honest answer. I like it. So Nasilov asks, ghost body shot nerf, yes or no?
I don't know. I don't really ever pay attention to that particularly.
My
You
answer
guys
is
I don't,
yes.
I don't ever use it. I don't ever use it. I mean, to be fair, I do die to it quite a
What
lot.
did you say? Sorry. The
So,
ghost?
yeah, like should there be a nerf to the ghost and the body shot damage?
No. No, I think the nerve that it should be is that you don't get like you don't get so much tagging when you get hit by a pistol. Like
Yeah.
yeah, that would be a good nerf, I think, because getting hit in the feet and then you can't move anymore is hard, man. Like really,
Frustrating.
anyone can hit you in the feet, man. I'm telling you, like you know, like that's hard, man. But other than that, I don't know. The damage seems pretty good, like you know.
Aim for the
Yeah.
head.
I actually haven't heard anyone
Aim for the
mention the
head.
tagging like that for pistols. That's a good point.
Yeah, I've said that to Riot as well. I mean,
Oh, good.
a small feedback, but I hope they will they will take a little bit off some tagging with the pistol
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable change too. So Naxus asks ScreaM, what do you think about the skill gap in Valorant? It feels like duels are 50-50 and everyone can kill everyone.
Okay, sorry. Repeat that. Repeat that.
He asks, what do you think about the skill gap in Valorant? It feels like duels are 50-50 and everyone can kill everyone. So I think he's just
Yeah,
saying that it feels like you
yeah,
can't get as many advantages from your mechanics.
yeah, that's true. I think so. Yeah. That's why I said this game is gonna be about brain more than aim in the future. I mean, if it stays like this, it's gonna be more about brain because everybody is good enough to win a duel in this game. I feel like, you know. Of course, there's some people who are better, but in general, it's not that hard to aim in this game. So, and you can feel it. If you miss a single shot, like you're dead in this game. And on CS, to take the example, it's not the same case. You like the duels are way more important. Like they're way more difficult to take, even though they have a pistol. You know, like it's not the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it does of everything else you guys have said about like how the meta will be changing constantly. I kind of like the fact that the teams that are going to have a good work ethic, good structure, like all the players are versatile and like good thinking players. I like that those teams will take more advantages than just teams that
Yeah,
are mechanically super sick. You can go on
for
really
sure,
insane
100%.
runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some teams in CS that I felt like this team's really good right now, but they don't impress me. It's just that they're like mechanically everyone's on point right now.
Yeah.
Right. Do you see anything else, Mike, that you like? Any questions?
There was one earlier that was talking about if you guys had to pick, like, it was about forcing a meta change, but that could be like anything really. Is there like something you'd want to see changed on Agent, or if there was like any other change you'd want made to the game right now if you could make one?
I'm not the person to answer. I am bad at this stuff.
But I think there is you can fix some things, you know. But right now in mind, I don't know, man. I don't know right now in mind, man. Like just fix the breach flash. Try to fix the breach flash. Make it a little bit more balanced. Since it's the strongest agent right now, so other than that, I'm pretty happy with like the balance of the game. Every agent seems pretty balanced. Like you don't get annoyed by something in particular, you know. It's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah. Other than breach, I don't think.
Okay. Well, Unlucky asks, Link, is it a little daunting having the edge shot machine on your team? And how did you react when you learned that he was joining the team?
You don't ever think. Well, you don't like particularly think about it. Like when we learned that we did, it was kind of like, I don't know, it was really weird. It's like you're kind of getting the best player in EU like on your team. You're sort of just like, what the? I was like, can I swear?
Yeah, dude, go for
Yeah,
it.
I was
go
like, what
for
the fuck? I was like,
Oh,
it
I
was kind of crazy when that happened, but like you don't ever like just think about it. You know what I mean? It's just like what? It's just like ScreaM's just gone and killed 5. What the? Like he's just doing it again.
I love it. Well, I mean, speaking of stuff like ScreaM that's OP, other people talking about the judge being OP in chat, but I'm gonna ask the real question here: Is the Stinger OP?
Man, I feel like everything is
I
OP.
get,
If
bro,
you
I
use
get
it,
owned by
if you use
that.
it in the good position, if you use it in a good position, I'm thinking like Stinger is better than any weapon when you're close range.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's better than any weapon. Like Judge is better as well. Like if you're in the good position. So we can call it OP, but yeah, like if you have a good positioning, like it's made for this, you know. So and
Yeah.
it's not that OP because Stinger you can only kill one, you know, with one mag, you know. Like usually you kill one with one mag and then you reload. So it's okay, you know, it's okay. But it gets
Stinger
annoying
crew.
when you get killed by a Stinger. It feels
Yeah.
Yeah.
awful, man. The guy
Yeah.
is insane. He's insane, you know. It could be
Just
anyone in
running
front of
Stinger.
you. He's the best player in the world when you die to this. Like it's just the feeling you get when you die in this game. Every time you die in this game, you're dying by the best player in the world. Like that's the feeling I have, you know. Like every shot feels insane, you know. But it's not insane. It's just the feeling, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with that said, we do have time for another few more questions, but I want to start the final giveaway to kind of close things out with at the same time. So this is going to be the sexiest part of the giveaway items, I would say, the
Oh,
prestige hoodie. So you can bring that up again, Mike, for people to quickly see that and see what they can get a chance to win. And this is a sub-only giveaway as well, and you have to be active in the chats. Right. In terms of next questions, is there any mechanic in the game that you'd like to see removed? Asks Imva.
Any mechanic? Oh god.
Mhm.
It's probably gonna be with this new agent. Like I don't want a pigeon to fly around the corner and blind me. That'll
bro, that
probably be
pigeon,
it.
you're not ready for it, man. You're not ready for it. I'm telling you, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, but with the current agents,
The
I don't
mechanics,
know.
I think I don't know if it's the mechanics, but the aim punch, tagging, and this kind of stuff annoys me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Personally,
that sort of stuff.
that annoys me a lot because the skill gap doesn't get higher. Like on CS, you don't have this, and I mean you have it, but when you don't have a Kevlar, so it makes kind of sense, you know.
Yeah.
When you have a Kevlar, it doesn't matter in Valorant. You get aim punched by a classic, you know. A classic can kill you like easy. Like there's no advantage. Like of course there's advantage, but like yeah, you know, it can get really bad for you.
My favorite is
And
like when you're running across like any choke point and someone has a judge that's playing close and like the little pellets hit your feet and then you fully get like tagged and slowed down.
Yeah. The slow aim is like
Like the thing
something I
is that
couldn't ever think about.
the game is like the movements of the game is so slow. Giving the people that extra advantage of the tagging is insane, man. You know, like it removes so much like situations where you can react, you know, and have like some super amazing reaction and kill that guy. No, you're dead. Like you're dead. Like if you're in the wrong position, you're dead. Like this game is a lot about positioning, and if you're in the wrong position at the wrong time, man, you're dead. Like that's it, bro. And maybe the wall banging. Maybe they should fix the wall banging a bit.
mm,
It feels a bit high, you know, like it feels a bit crazy when you think about it.
yeah.
Like I don't know.
Is the
Yeah, it seems like
new
people.
Oh god.
No, you go ahead, Mike.
Oh, great, this again. I was just gonna ask if the new map feels like super wall bangable compared to the other ones.
No, you're right. It doesn't feel that much because, I mean, in some positions, of course, but like you don't have so much wall, like some tiny walls or like some boxes everywhere. Of course, you can wallbang pretty much everything, but I haven't got wallbang in this map yet, so I can't say.
Gotcha.
The day I'm getting wallbang, bro, I'm telling you. And
Right. Well,
yeah, man.
so we'll do the last question before we close things out, and we will conclude the giveaway and draw a winner after the this question's done. So make sure you get it's for subs only. So make sure you get active in the chat there if you're a sub to be eligible. But the last question is from Spice Unit. RCS executes easier than in Valorant. Or how does the margin of error feel like compared to CS when you're executing onto a site in Valorant?
Well, when you exit on a site in Valorant, no, I feel like there's more margin for error in I don't know, like, because in CS, like, you've obviously got like lineups and stuff with like smokes, like your mollies, like they're all lineups. But in this game, like, you just open up an iPad, especially on like Brimstone or Omen, you just sort of drop the smokes. That's out of the way. You don't need to worry about like you've screwed up your smoke. But like, I don't know, there's just something about like getting breach ulted into like a Brimstone ult, and you're just like, oh, like,
This
what's
is what's
happened to
happening.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
like, so I don't know, like margin for error. Probably Valorant, because there's just a lot more stuff that you could probably do, like that will cancel out like whatever error you made.
Yeah, it's hard, man. And also, like in Valorant, there's some situations where you are destined to die. Like there's some things you can't dodge. Like
Yeah,
there's some things you can't dodge, and that's a bit hard. Like I don't know, like if it's gonna be like this all the time, but I guess it's also the positions. But if you're in the wrong time at the wrong moment, you have this little RNG timing where, yeah, like there's the ult coming up to you, and you can't anticipate it. Like it's so hard to anticipate everything on this game.
Yeah, the chaos is hard to manage for sure. Well, with that said, it's time to draw a winner. So Ironbot, if you'd like to draw a winner for the giveaway for the Prestige hoodie, that's all the swag. Go on, who's gonna get it? Davos Soggy Biscuit has won the giveaway. All right, congrats,
what a
Davos
name.
Soggy Biscuit. That's
Congrats, man.
MVP.
Cool.
um, so to close things out, firstly, thank you guys so much for joining us and answering all the questions and everything. What have you guys got going on? Are you guys, where can people find you? Are you streaming? You making content? What are you up to?
Our socials, I guess, like Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all this kind of stuff. You can find pretty easily, I guess. Just write ScreaM and you'll find it. And I don't know about Trav.
Yeah, L1NK Val on Twitter, and then anything you can find anything from there basically.
Trav's Twitter is hilarious. I love looking at it.
I
Are you guys
provide
got any like
stuff.
fun weekend plans or?
We're resting, man.
Yeah,
Fair
a
We
enough.
lot
are
of practice.
resting. Yeah, a lot of practice, but yeah, we try to have some free time for ourselves in the weekend most of the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have to ask actually, because I'm curious. Do you have any like team building things you're doing together, like walking on hot coals or going bowling together? I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
us three at the facility like play ping pong versus each other.
Nice.
It gets kind of heated, but like that's some pretty like bonding.
Who is the best ping pong player?
Oh, don't start because it'll get rough. Well, out of us three, because bro, like the Dota players at the facility are like incredible at ping pong. So like we're not anywhere near them, but like it's like they're like in their own category, and then we're just sort of just like underneath like the kids playing.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
you're learning, you learn, huh?
yeah, true.
Awesome. Mike,
We
do you have any?
haven't been to like all together yet, so we haven't done anything all together yet. But when we're gonna meet, we're gonna do some stuff together for sure.
Nice, nice. Well, I hope Sliggy doesn't show off his ping pong skills. I know he's pretty sick on the ping pong table. Um,
I will see.
all right, Mike, have you got anything going on that you want to tell people about?
Not really. Probably gonna check into your stream later if you want to talk about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing a diabolical tournament. Actually, after we're playing the playoffs in about 30 minutes, and after the first match, we'll be playing Team Liquid, so that should be fun. I think they're the second best team right now, so yeah, I think our chances are pretty good.
I hate to
But
say that I'm supporting Team Liquid for that one. Sorry, Dan.
I mean, you have a liquid shirt, man. Like,
I know, like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm very confused right now.
yeah,
confused right
like
now.
conflicted.
All right, guys. With all that said, thanks so much for joining us. To all of you in chat, thanks for tuning in. You guys can catch the VOD if you missed this tomorrow on our YouTube. Also, we've got a Discord channel, which is awesome to pop in. We've got a really awesome community that's playing a lot of Valorant together and discussing like pro matches and stuff. That's a lot of fun if you need to find some people to play with to make that matchmaking experience a little bit less toxic. And equally, we'll be live on Wednesday with another VOD review. We might be looking at some more Asian CS or CS Valorant for the VOD review on Wednesday. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Congrats again for the giveaway winners, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. See you.